Welcome to Nobody's Opinion as delivered by the Devil's Advocate on Nobody's Request, where nobody's opinion is something nobody cares about. A little disclaimer: nobody's opinion is really not anybody's business, but if somebody feels offended by nobody's opinion, please remember, nobody cares. Okay, just quickly, nobody's opinion is, for this talk, proudly sponsored by Pluto Properties, where vision is the future, especially if you have a Hubble telescope. The first 10 people that contact him to buy land will get land for free. Pluto Properties, because it makes sense. The search for logic. It is a sad affair nowadays, and I think the search will continue and will become more difficult as all these political things are happening across the world. But nobody gave me his opinion on some things that bothered him, and bothers a lot of other people and should bother a lot more people. But nevertheless, nobody did not give me his opinion on political issues as such, but just plain on the logic applied by people. So what's going to follow after is a short clip out of a video or interview that was I'm not sure who had it with this man. He's the leader of a group called Black First Land First. And according to Wikipedia, this BLF is a black consciousness, Pan-Africanist, and a revolutionary socialist political party in South Africa. And it's considered a hate group by secularists. It was founded in 2015 by Andile Mngxitama, following his expulsion from the Economic Freedom Fighters. So, just in a nutshell, this Economic Freedom Fighters leader was his name is Julius Malema. He was the leader of the youth, the African National Congress, the Nelson Mandela Party. He was the leader of the youth, youth group, whatever you call it. And he fell out with the ex-president Jacob Zuma about corruption and things. But he fell out, and he started a political party called the EFF, meaning the Economic Freedom Fighters. And then this Andile Mngxitama was part of his political party, Julius Malema's political party. And then they fell out, and he then went and started this Black First Land First. Okay, but in the clip following, just listen carefully to the logic he applies. Like I said, nobody did not view an opinion on the political landscape or any of that. This is just about people's logic. Now, after this clip, I'll talk about another clip about somebody else. And these two things are linked. But I'll explain that in a short moment. Just listen to this quickly.
White settlers who arrived here in 1652 stole our land, enslaved us, created the wealth that they have today, continue to earn more than we do. And when we talk about...
Okay, yeah, he mentioned some things. And the points, just quickly, he said that white settlers arrived at the Cape Point, the southern tip of South Africa, in 1652. They stole the people's land, they enslaved the people, they created the wealth that they now have, and then he goes on about that they are still earning more than everybody else. So there's a lot of political history in that, and I'm not going to go into that so much, because we are just looking for logic, because logic is lost. We don't know where. At sea, desert, it's I mean space maybe. Yeah, that's a possibility. Okay, 1652. That was, for those of you who don't know, the United States of America was founded on the 4th of July, of course, 1776. So this was roughly 100 years before that. Now, who lived there and who was there? It's another conversation, but nobody's not given me an opinion on that. The interesting thing that he says, now remember, you're working with people who's got influence over other people, and we saw that in the history of the world many times. I mean, Mao and Stalin and Hitler, and there's several others. We saw that. Not that I'm saying he is or he isn't. That's for you to decide. But the point which is very interesting to me when it comes to logic is that after they stole the land and they enslaved the people, they created the wealth. So what is his mission and his political party is, they want everything that the settlers got. They want that. So you have to ask yourself this question. You know, time, unfortunately, on Earth is relevant, and it moves on. So 1652, it is the touchy subject about the slaves that went to America as well, where people jump up and down, and I don't blame people if they feel have that feeling, because it's their ancestors, but it's also hundreds of years ago, and all the people who played a part at that time, they're long gone. Now, any laws that at that point in time, if they were laws and they were legal within a framework. So when white settlers went to the southern tip of South Africa in 1652 and stole the people's land, they did not steal the wealth. This is what Andile is saying here. They says that they stole the people's land and then they enslaved the people, which the Dutch had some slaves, but it was a minor issue in Southern Africa. But I'm not going to talk about this because some people might feel it's a major issue. What I'm saying is that they stole the land, they enslaved the people, and then they created the wealth. So they weren't wealth. The wealth was created. So he wants his party's name says blacks first, land first. They want the land. Blacks must have the land. Black people must have the land, and all of it, because he wants the wealth. Now, I didn't include that part of this interview because he says here, I think this was done with, I'm not going to say now because I'm not sure. but he says in this video, he says that when he was asked that if you destabilize the South African economy by expropriation of land without compensation, which is something that they are doing, aiming for. They passed the bills. Everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen. Well, those that's bothered about it. There's a lot of people not bothered about it, because if you're bothered about these kinds of things, you're called a racist. That is the latest. They just throw this word around. Oh, well, nobody gave me his opinion on that too. You know, you take something which is a problem, something which is a problem. Racism is a problem, but they take it and they water it down because they've got a hell of a big building to paint, and they've got one bucket of paint. And to paint that building with that one bucket of paint, they have to put a hell of a lot of water in there. I think they piss in it as well, because you have to spread that paint over the whole thing, so that loses meaning. Okay, I must get back to this point. Nobody has given me his opinion a couple of times on me losing my point, which means, as the devil's advocate, yeah, I can understand why the devil doesn't want to use me. And he does his own thing. He was in that interview asked if this expropriation, what does he think about the whole concept? Will it not result in a loss of jobs? And he vehemently said, we don't need jobs. We want the mines, we want the land, we don't want to work for you, meaning white people, because the interviewer is white, Pelser, I think. Gee, I have to give him credit for that, but Vladimir Pelser, yeah. And he said, no, he's not interested in the loss of jobs, because they will work for themselves then. So they will create the wealth. That was the point I lost. I apologize. So he wants now in 2018, he wants all the land and he wants all the wealth. But the settlers came there, stole the land. They didn't steal wealth. They stole land. And this is the part I think is missing. They created the wealth. So the logic, yeah, and with and it's happened in other places. We saw the pogroms in Stalin's time. I think if you have the land, you can have wealth. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to create it. You have to make it. It wasn't there. Anyway, okay, I'm going to move on. The next clip I'm going to show you is a man, Rupert. Rupert is his name. He's a billionaire in South Africa. His family, well, they, according to this guy, stole the land. You see, they one of those that stole the land. So, and then they created the wealth. He was, I think, they said, in this interview that I had with him, he was $5 billion US dollars. $5 billion. So, okay, this is a man, yeah, he was born on the 1st of June, 1950. Wow. One day before me, but I'm not that old. I'm like something like 25 when I checked last time. He's, well, he did very well for himself. His father did very well. Yeah, you know, to go into everything he did and what he owned, you can go and watch that video. You can go and Google him. I'm looking at his Wikipedia page here. So you would think, you know, as a man who's in charge of a lot of things, he's done a lot of things, he's you know, he's never finished university, which you know, it doesn't matter. You know, business university can't teach you how to do business. It can teach you the principles. But anyway, that's just, I slipped in my own opinion there, I'm sorry. He said something in this interview. He was busy having this interview with him on, I said, kind of honoring him and trying to get, you know, his advice in this difficult political environment South Africa is in. So they're trying him to give them some ideas and stuff. But now, in the previous video, I said that this leader of this Black First Land First, he was a member of another political party, which is called the Economic Freedom Fighters, who comes from the African National Congress, the old, I almost say terrorist organization. It was Mandela's organization, and it's now, of course, a political party in the rural South Africa. But they all, you know, flaked off each other. And these guys from the Economic Freedom Fighters, they tend to, when they're unhappy about something, they tend to go into the streets and they call it in South Africa toy. Because when they're angry, they'll dance and then they burn tires, burn stuff, and it eventually escalates. They'll vandalize shops, steal, and rob and assault, and that's how it goes. That's how they do their things. And they use this. If somebody steps over their line that they've drawn, then you'll know that you'll see them tomorrow or within hours. You'll see them coming in buses and whatever, and then they'll come and they will cause a lot of problems, and sometimes really violent. Well, a lot of people might not be happy about me saying that, but that's what they do. They don't do a peaceful protest. So there was a little bit of friction between Johan Rupert, whose clip you're going to listen to now, and this Economic Freedom Fighters. Not so much this Andile, as Andile's Black Land First. Black First Land. I apologize. I can't even get that one. I will at some point. So, yeah, nobody, you know, said to me, this is his opinion on this. Now listen, this is a man who's in charge of a lot of things. And I've got a problem with what he's going to say here now next. I've got a real problem with that. Oh, I'm not losing sleep over it. But what he said in this video clip led to the Andile from the Black First Land First, got it, led to an action, something he did, which then hopefully you'll see what I'm trying to say. Now, Johan Rupert made a stupid comment, a really stupid comment. But see, listen to him saying this, and listen, see if you can feel the threatening, violent, racist, what's all the words? Words that he speaks here. It's just absolutely stupid, childish comment. I'll elaborate a little bit on it after this. Okay, enjoy it.
Now put yourself in my shoes a little bit.
Right.
I have a friend, Jabu Mbusa. We go back long ago.
Sure.
From when Jabu was, in private sector. Oh, by the way, Jabu and I have one thing in common. He's chairman of the Taxi Association. And one of the first tenants of Business Partners was the Taxi Association. So I also have my own army when those red guys come. They've got to go and remember the Taxi Association. No, but...
Okay, you've heard him saying it, that when those red guys come, he's got his own army, the Taxi Association. Now just a little bit of background. South Africa the taxi industry is not even predominantly, it is completely run by black people. And, you know, good for them. It was even before the 1994 situation where Nelson Mandela became the first black president, and all the things about the oppression of blacks. And I mean, there was many blacks with businesses. There were black people who were fairly wealthy. But of course, that's nobody has not yet given me his opinion on that, so I'm not going to go further talking about that. But the taxi association was became a huge industry, massive. It's incredible, and it should be a bastion for black people in Africa as an enterprise, which is massive. You're talking about, it's massive. They, you know, of course, taxis provide a service, a much needed service. But unfortunately, this industry is also an industry who kills the biggest number of their clients due to vehicles being unroadworthy, negligent and just plain dangerous driving, overloading, drivers without licenses, and you know, nobody gave me his opinion, and we'll talk about it another time. You don't have to have a piece of paper or a little card or something to prove that you can drive. But when I say people without licenses, these are people that even cannot, you know, they can't drive, you know, especially not with that responsibility of having all those people on board. So, and every day you can go on the news, you go and look, every day in South Africa, accidents, and almost every accident you'll find a taxi was involved. It's not always their fault, but most of the time it is. Unfortunately, it's they ignore traffic regulations, speeding. It's incredible. So a lot of people die in this industry due to accidents. Of course, when they have also, because you have different taxi associations, and when they have a territory issue, you know, it's not sitting down on the table and talking. You know, they shoot each other, shootouts, and of course, it's mainly the drivers acting like gangs, and in the process, innocent people get shot and killed as well. So when Rupert said he's got his own private army, referring to preventing as a threat, as a childish threat, especially on television. I mean, this was a 2-hour interview about the social, economic situation, well, socio-political, economic situation in South Africa. Made a stupid comment like this. But anyway, this Andile from the Black First, Land First group, he took this on board and he saw it in a different light. Now, I expressed, no, I have to correct myself there. No, I did. I expressed nobody's opinion. Yeah, that's all I did. On Johan Rupert making a stupid, childish comment, which, you know, it wasn't the time worth saying that. I mean, really. I had a loss of words, really, but this is the reaction that the Andile had on this. Now, yes, listen to this and then follow this through. The whole application of logic from Andile applying the principle or having an idea that land is wealth. In a sense it is, of course. If you own land you can sell it, but the settlers came, stole the land, enslaved the people, and then they created wealth. So the creation of wealth was not, there weren't wealth. There wasn't mines or anything, buildings or cities or roads or railways or anything. But he wants that as well. And what he doesn't realize, and as we've seen in many examples in Zimbabwe, which is just above South Africa as a up-to-date example. You can take the land, but if you cannot maintain the creation of wealth, the whole country will fall. So the logic coming from there through to Johan Rupert, he must do things like, because he's a billionaire. He definitely must, because I'm not, and I don't know, I'm trying to do stuff right. Making a stupid comment, and then the result is this.
For each one person that is being killed by the taxi industry, will give 5 white people. For every 1 black person you kill, will give 5 white people. You kill 1 of us, we'll kill 5 of you. You kill 1 of us, we'll kill 5 of you. You kill 1 of us, kill 5 of you. You kill 1 of us, we'll kill 5 white people. We'll kill the children, we'll kill the women, we'll kill anything that we find on our way. I am giving you today a shield and a sword so that we can fight and defeat the enemy that defeated our people since 1652. We kill the children, we kill the women, we kill their dogs, we kill their girls, we kill anything that comes before us. The children of Satan must be weakened. The children of Satan must go to hell. The children of Satan must have diseases. The children of Satan must remember where they come from, so they leave our country. The first thing that we must do is to kill the little white man. If you are hungry, there are shops around there. We'll kill the dogs and we'll feed ourselves. We must kill this little white man inside our head first, because if we do so, we'll not be afraid of white people. We are organizing 50,000 RPG soldiers. You must please sign up. Sign your name up for being an RPG soldier. I'm inviting you, those who are ready, to become soldiers in this revolution.
Yeah, now, nobody's opinion on the search for logic. It's not, you cannot try and figure it out just from these clips I've shared here. But this just like nobody's opinion on truth. And yeah, everything about it is a video that I'll put up about that. Nobody's opinion basically is that logic is, and you can add common sense, is that it's the application of it gets overshadowed by so many things in this world. These are this is an isolated case. Of course, we've seen the rise of Nazism. Could have been also was seen by the world. United Kingdom, France, and the US, and Russia back then as kind of an isolated event, but we know where that went to. But this is not what this talk is about. It's about logic, and how logic just gets lost. And now from the one end here is someone expressing his views or an idea or made a joke, which just doesn't carry logic. And then on the other end, a person speaking to a group of people who are poor, probably most of them unemployed and desperate, and there is no way that logic will take hold. It's just absolutely, there's no logic, and you know, to find logic, and it's there. I mean, it's there. It's everywhere. It's not really lost, but it seems to get lost the more it moves from a point of simplicity. The spring is coming, so it's logic that if you're a farmer, that you should start with preparations with your fields or with your animals, or for summer. And then summer brings its own logic, which flows over into your actions, which must be common sense. But it's just lost, and this is all over the world. Now, I hope I haven't bored the hell out of you with this one, but one needs to think about these things. You know, when you go and vote, if you vote, you know, decisions you make, it will always influence somebody else. And if there's no logic that will lead to an action of common sense, then yeah, we've lost the plot. So I'm not in disagreement with nobody's opinion. It's just incredibly difficult to actually apply it, to find it and make it work. Logic. Well, we can say is I hope there's well, there's no hope for humanity really, the way we're going on. Okay, on that sad note, goodbye.